interact. But game one will tell us everything we need to know between Conrado and Sean.
Well, speaking of going first, it's time for a dice roll. Let's find out who is going to go first.
Sean rolls a 10. Pretty good start. But a 12 from Conrado is going to open up our tournament today.
Let's see if his opening move is as strong as his dice roll.
Yeah. So it's looking like he's going to open up here right into his main phase with a special summon of Kashtira Fenrir, the most honorary monster of all archetypes. Not just Kashtira Fenrir, but he could be Vanquish Soul Fenrir, he could be Regenesis Fenrir if he needs to.
It certainly helps to get you to another 2,500 attack monster. Oh, got a little bit of information out there. Droll Lockbird is in the deck somewhere, but Kashtira Unicorn, Sacred, 2,500 attack.
Yeah, he showed the wrong wind monster there for a second. Also, I just wanted to give a shout out to Conrado, being a fellow left-handed duelist there. Just making sure that you guys understand his deck's on the left and his extra deck and field zone are on the right.
So we're really just going to go for the Kashtira Fenrir. Obviously, if we start off with Kashtira Unicorn, would have had the 2,500 attack. Certainly a way to get back in for Conrado, but right now he's just relying on his set card and Kashtira Fenrir. But that set card may not last. Let's see what he's going to play here on Sean's side.
It is worth noting that that Fenrir is a special summoned monster, so a Liger Dancer would be able to get rid of it, or even a Leo Dancer too.
Sean thinking about activating that Lunalight Masquerade, but decides not to. It's a little difficult because you don't want to fall into the pit trap of Kashtira Fenrir.
Basically getting as many names in your graveyard and proccing all their effects as possible is what Lunalight wants to do to set up its engine, and then being able to fusion summon multiple times, either using normal poly effects or things like Lunalight Wolf and Twilight Masquerade to fusion from your graveyard. It's really important. That Goldlier will be met with an infinite impermanence, though, negating its effect on summon.
Conrado lightly grimacing when he saw that there was a Lunalight duelist, but decided to use the infinite impermanence there to stop Lunalight Gold Leo.
And this is actually a really important thing that happens a lot in this format right now. You know, people normally favor the big blowout interactions like Fualos or Droll and Lockbird, but cards like Infinite Impermanence and Ash Blossom, the more one-for-one interactions, are more useful against decks like Lunalight. They're trying to have a very specific combo go off, rather than just try to generate as much advantage as possible.
Definitely helps, and I see that Conrado has really held it off with just this Kashtira Fenrir. Sean seems stopped in his tracks, trying to determine what his next move is. Looks like we did not activate the effect of Kashtira Fenrir, and that's smart, right? The Gold Leo has already used its effect, so there's not really anything else going on with it. So it's very difficult as Sean tries to determine if I activate a monster effect, lose a monster. That could be rough.
And I think something that happened here is I believe I just got a peek in Sean's hand that he has Yellow Martin already in his hand, which is normally a really big target to send with Masquerade. Normally you'd send something like one of the other names that also dumps the Yellow Martin, so you have as many names as possible, and then you proc Yellow Martin's effect to search for a Lunalight spell card. But right now he feels a little locked into doing so because he has no idea how to get that card in the graveyard. Making sure we know where the interim column was, we're going to activate Lunalight Masquerade in a safe column, and then on activation we'll be able to send a Lunalight monster, if we wish, from the deck to the graveyard.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. You do have to ask your opponent. There's no bubbles here, but Masquerade, such a powerful card, really pushing this deck to the limits. Looks like we're about to play another Lunalight card here. Activating the effect of Lunalight Masquerade then.
We're going to go ahead and send one from our deck to the graveyard. Again, I'm not sure how he's going to be able to access things like Lunalight Fusion without that Yellow Martin going to the graveyard here. I believe he's eyeing up, is that Silverhound? Yeah, that looks like Silverhound to me.
Silverhound's such a strong option getting that to the graveyard. And Regenesis does rely on spells and traps, so being able to have that spell and trap negation effect is very strong.
You're the head judge, or?
Oh, looks like we may be pausing here.
If I can appeal?
We are appealing a decision here. Didn't catch what the ruling was, but it looks like we may be taking a moment.
Yeah, it's always interesting. All right, last time we checked in on here, it was Sean's turn. He was in the middle of resolving his Twilight Masquerade. And I think pretty sure we're going to get some information for you guys on what the actual ruling was from the judge. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and send that Silverhound like we thought to the yard, then activate its effect. Now it's been sent there to, I believe, summon a copy of Black Sheep, that is, from the deck.
Yeah.
Certainly wild to see it, and no wonder to read it. I do not think that Black Sheep has been reprinted since Shining Victories in 2016, so it shows you the new Lunalight support busting out some cards that haven't been seen for a while. But even though we did activate that monster effect, looks like we're going to go ahead and banish that Black Sheep face down.
Because we're going to be using that Fenrir there on res, and I believe that will be able to stop him from using the ignition effect of Black Sheep to add. We're going to activate the effect of Yellow Martin here, revealing a card to summon itself to the field.
Finally managed to get that Yellow Martin out somehow.
Yeah, we return the Masquerade to our hand. We can't use it again this turn, unfortunately, but we can actually save it for next turn. I believe we do have the effect to let us banish if we use something like Polymerization or whatever to Fusion Summon. We'll have to see later if Sean's able to go for that.
Such a cool way to Fusion Summon, too, and that is what Lunalights are all about. But we haven't seen a Fusion yet. Looks like we're going to Xyz Summon instead, build the Overlay Network, and I wonder if it's just going to be Baguska. And it is.
Yeah, usually when you have a deck that just has really powerful rank 4 capabilities like the Lunalight deck does, whenever they get really stymied, like that Infinite Impermanence did on Gold Leo, they'll just go Babuska and be like, I'm going to try again next turn. Because this deck has so much explosivity that you can totally afford to do so, and this would put the Yellow Martin in the graveyard, which I believe Babuska detaches for effect, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, so that'd be very important because that would proc the Yellow Martin.
So now we're just going to normal summon.
Normal summon Puolos is a very exciting play here. I believe we're going to send it to the... Or we're going to link summon into Almirage here because it was a normal summon monster with 1,000 or less attack. And now we're going to link 2 here into... Is that going to be SP Little Knight?
I would imagine so. I mean, we did include a link monster there, so it would be able to banish, and that's a strong way to get rid of that card and be able to play your other monsters. And yep, there's the SP Little Knight.
Banishing the Baguska, that's really huge. And if we do chain anything here, we'll have the opportunity to get rid of our own SP, which will let us summon our Unicorn if our board's empty again. So Sean's is going to let that Babuska get banished, it looks like.
Very smart that even though we had that interruption play, he did not forget about the Cashier Unicorn and did not attempt to activate anything.
And we're going to go ahead and set there. And this SP Little Knight unfortunately cannot attack directly and does not have 2,500 or more attacks. So I imagine if he has any Regenesis monsters in hand that are not Archfiend, they're not going to get summoned anyway.
I did get a peek at his hand. I at least saw Regenesis Dragon for Conado, so I think he is just waiting to get rid of the SP Little Knight or for something to happen to it. But if he passes play back over to Sean, that could be a very difficult turn for him because all Lunalight needs is one solid turn of Fusion Summoning.
And all Conrado needs is one monster with 2,500 attack points, and he can summon a whole bunch of them.
I don't think there's any 2,500 attack or defense monsters in the Lunalight deck, are there?
Exactly, I don't think so. I think like randomly they're all like 24, 28, 2,000. Like they're all like the opposite numbers that you would need. But
just taking a look just to make sure there's no backdoor pilot into Regenesis here. No, I do not see anything. 3,500, what a great number. Oh, actually, Lunalight Panther Dancer has 2,500 defense. I wonder if we'll see it.
Sometimes Panther Dancer is just used with Kaleido Chick to get that extra number so you can summon Leo Dancer and whatnot. Normally you're not hard making because I believe it requires Cat Dancer to be summoned.
That's true, and I don't think I've seen a single one of those left on the field. Even then, you would still end your combo with some great Liger Dancers instead. Speaking of combos, looks like Sean is going through the extra deck, figuring out where to go next here, with just a Martin on the field for now.
Yeah, it was really cool. He activated the Lunalight Masquerade in hand to bring back the Yellow Martin to the board, and now he's going to normal summon the Emerald Bird here on summon. That'll give him the option to discard a Lunalight card and draw one. I don't think he's going to do that. Looks like he's just eyeing up his extra deck again, seeing what he can make here. I think he's eyeing up, is that Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King?
I mean, it's a great way to get Fire Formation Tenki to your hand. Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness, is that like the Platinum Rare from way back in the day?
From Fist of the Gadget, right? Is that not a Platinum Rare, right?
I guess we're about to find out.
That could be... Oh, that's just Dugaris.
Really? So maybe just trying to draw 2 and discard 1 in order to put more Lunalights in the graveyard?
It does proc the effects of any Lunalights that are sent to the graveyard by effect, which would be useful. I don't believe it'll proc the Yellow Martin or the Emerald Bird by the detach here, but we do have another Infinite Impermanence as Conrado to stop that, and that's a lot of resources from Sean, getting no value out of it. That is a big trade.
Up.
Sure.
And I believe because he's activated the effect, is he still under the same condition that he would not be able to draw on his next turn for Dugaris, or do you have to resolve the effect?
I believe you're still locked out. It reminds me of Pada Prosperity being negated. So.
Yeah, it's like a part of the activation cost, not just the actual resolving of the effect.
Well, it may be unclassified, but...
We'll know later if he doesn't draw for his next turn.
Looks like Sean's trying to figure out what to do next. Been very difficult here, again, just having a single monster in defense mode there with no Xyz materials. Dugaris is just going to make him pass. So Conrado draws for turn.
Now, normally, being a Regenesis player, you want a game like this. You know, every single turn is getting more and more turn cycles of adding back your Regenesis monsters, but he hasn't been able to summon one as Conrado. We're going to attack the Dugaris with SP Little Knight just to clear it off the board, because why not? And are we just holding a grip of monsters we can't summon as Conrado, and we're passing? Both players are just sitting here staring at each other, not being able to actually duel. It's intense.
And that's the thing. The second that SP Little Knight is cleared out, if Sean does not finish all of Conrado's life points, that's a problem because Regenesis will just crawl on in, starting with Kashira Unicorn, getting that Sacred 2500. Now we're seeing the Foolish Burial Goods.
Oh, and this is going to be crazy. We're going to be able to send Perfume. Perfume will be able to reborn our Gold Leo. Or we can send off Serenade Dance and get coming out of the deck, actually, and get even more resources. I love that play from Sean because he can always access Perfume via Perfume Dancer in his extra deck. He just needs a way to fusion summon.
Let's see if he finds it now.
So we're going to be sending the Droll and Lockbird for the Serenade Dance's cost. If we're banishing it from the graveyard, I wonder who we're going to summon here. Gold Leo seems pretty good if he has another copy of that in his deck. Something like Black Sheep, again, if he has another one, wouldn't be too bad to automatically get Poly. I think he's eyeing that Gold Leo, yeah. The beautiful secret rare from Duelist Advance. Gold Leo is going to be coming down on Special Summon. He'll be able to add any Lunalight monster from his deck to his hand. Classic effect.
Now, he may regret getting rid of the Droll and Lockbird because that does mean that after Regenesis Archfiend activates its effect, you can grab Regenesis and perform additional searches of the deck to add cards from your deck to your hand. But at this point, I think he's just trying to get started, so anything will do at this point.
I do want to point out that Sean has no idea Conrado is playing Regenesis. He's just seen Kashtira, Fenrir, and Unicorn, and SP Little Knight, and Fuelos. So I think Sean's like, I wonder what I am playing. He probably doesn't think the Droll and Lockbird's even that valuable, maybe compared to the other cards he has in his hand. And there we see Lunalight World. Like I said, all he needs is a way to fusion summon here, and he can get off to the races.
Kind of wild. He may be thinking that this is the slowest Vanquish Soul opponent he's ever gone against, right? Because Kashtira's sometimes do show up, although Kashtira Unicorn a win, not one of these sacred 3 attributes that Vanquish Soul is looking for. But he really doesn't have the information unless he just susses out the fact that it's like, Kashtira hasn't played yet. Maybe Regenesis?
Yeah, it'll be funny to see if he gets surprised by what happens.
Well, certainly Conrado, the second he saw that first Lunalight monster come down, he was like, oh, okay, that's what this is. But I am curious to see Sean, who's so steely, so just locked into the duel, if we can get a reaction out of him too.
Yeah, he was just in the waiting room, really, for a lot of his good Lunalight cards, because he drew a lot of the normal one-ofs that you use to sort of make your combos more resilient. But here we have Wolf, and I believe Masquerade in hand, which is going to be a lot of really good resources for him. Getting that extra send, and then, of course, activating the Lunalight Wolf Pendulum effect to perform a fusion summon. Here we're going to be banishing material from the graveyard to summon here. We see Emerald Bird, and I believe that was a copy of Gold Leo. This is probably going to go for that Perfume Dancer that I was talking about to unlock the most powerful LUNALIGHT card.
That's true, right?
Card.
Because LUNALIGHT Perfume isn't a LUNALIGHT card, it's a LUNALIGHT card, right?
Oh, wow. This, to me, has been the big unlock for the deck since Duelist Advance. Normally, Yellow Martin is able to search for really powerful cards like Lunalight Fusion or Lunalight Serenade Dance or other really cool cards. But being able to search Lunalight Perfume, the in-archetype Monster Reborn and Reinforcement of the Army in the same turn if you want is just so powerful. And having more ways in the deck to also discard for effect can just turn on all your Lunalight effects because they want to hit the graveyard, but they want that to be via effect.
I feel like Lunalight's almost famous for having powerful effects that you can just keep using over and over and over again.
They invented the soft once per turn, I'll tell you that much.
Well, looks like finally seeing the fusion summon. We're going to activate the Lunalight Masquerade here. It was activated this turn, so you could use the other effect. Looks like we are going to do that now.
Yeah, this will let us send maybe another copy of Silverhound if we have it. It could let us get access to another Yellow Martin if we have it, but earlier he probably showed that he didn't. He only had the one that he drew. I think he's eyeing up Kaleido Chick here just to have it in the graveyard so he can use it for the battle phase effect for protection. That seems pretty cool.
Sure.
And then we're going to use the effect of Gold Leo because the card was sent to add it to our hand, actually. And we haven't done our normal summon yet. And Kaleido Chick, as I'm sure we are aware, is one of the best normal summons in the Lunalight deck, being able to have that Neptupus-like send for cost secret effect. And then being able to have that extra ability to be a fusion material if you need it.
No, it is kind of insane the fact that no matter what, that monster is going to the graveyard, and that is where Lunalights tend to be. It's almost like a little circus dance, right? They go into the graveyard, they come out of the graveyard. They go into the graveyard, they come out. But the deck is kind of unmatched in terms of its power ceiling. It's some wild stuff.
I mean, being able to summon 2 Liger Dancers potentially is... that'll get the job done, as they say.
Liger Dancers alongside of Baguska, which we saw earlier in the tournament yesterday. There's some cool stuff you can do, but now we've got another Gold Leo on the field.
Yep, just clarifying how everything was summoned. Gold Leo was not normal summoned. It was special summoned from the grave, from the deck using Serenade Dance. We're going to be sending the Leo Dancer to the grave using Kaleido Chick, and then we're going to be changing its name. But we're going to be chained to that effect, SP Little Knight, banishing both. That is really huge because that is denying the Leo Dancer material that Sean desperately needs to summon his Liger Dancer. It needs to be made with Leo Dancer specifically.
So certainly smart on Conrado's end, and he did get rid of the SP LUNALIGHT. However, it is going to come back, so that may lock him up again. It almost would have been more worth it to lose it by battle. However, you don't want your opponent to fuse that hard. So sort of darned if you do, darned if you don't. But now we're going back in here. Looks like we're activating the effects to fusion summon.
Yeah, because we were able to bounce the LUNALIGHT Wolf back to our hand using Perfume Dancer, and like I said, soft once per turn effects here. That includes the fusion summons. We're going to go ahead and banish the Leo Dancer that's in our graveyard. We can still use that as material to summon the Liger Dancer. And now we're going to be able to attack twice. First we're going to hit for 2K, and it's going to be a total of 76. That is 9,600 life points. Sean Killian has the W here.
He made it. He made it. So off to a slow start, but was able to finally get it done. About a 15-minute game there, so plenty of time left on the clock. But interesting, Conrado did not play a sync before it happens. Well, speaking of happening, it's time to go to game 2 here. At the first round, we've got round 10, day 2 of the NAWCQ.
Yep, we got Sean on the right, Conrado on the left. Sean's currently up 1. Conrado has some work to do, but I think I saw the name of the deck, Regenesis, in his hand, so it'll be fun to see that pop up. But first, we have Unicorn, which is the fun start for this deck because it makes any interaction Sean might have a lot less appealing because we're going to lose some cards in our extra deck.
That is another way to get rid of the Liger Dancer. Excuse me, when we see the extra deck, okay, it's just one of those I don't have to deal with. Banish face down, but we are going to go into the deck here, activating the effect of Kashtira, Unicorn, grabbing Kashtira, Birth.
Now something, I was going to say something that could be interesting. You mentioned earlier, like if Unicorn can really interrupt Sean. Depending on how his extra deck is built, getting rid of copies of Leo Dancer could be pretty huge. Because if he doesn't have access to those, he also doesn't have access to Liger Dancer.
So Sean didn't know his opponent was playing Regenesis, but it seems like maybe he has not played against Regenesis as he takes that card out. He's going to add a Regenesis monster if he already controlled one. He could go ahead and add a 2500 monster, but that's not relevant when Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring comes down. Now, Regenesis in the graveyard, without having its effect resolve, is still okay because it is basically a monster reborn on later turns. It'd be banished to get back one of your Regenesis monsters from the graveyard if it happens to still be there.
And we do see the Leo Dancer being banished there from Unicorn, denying it definitely a potential option for him in the future, because now if Sean activates any monster effect on his turn, he'll lose his second copy of Leo Dancer, thus turning off all Liger Dancers in the future. That's going to be pretty big.
That could be really scary. Getting rid of the fusion materials is also a heads-up way to prevent that from being summoned in the first place.
Yep, and there we see the Birth coming down, and then Fenrir being able to be normal summoned thanks to the Birth. And then we have Regenesis Warrior being able to special summon itself because we have the Unicorn, and now we got a pretty controlling board all of a sudden. You know, we have the Birth, which can banish cards from Sean's graveyard. We have Unicorn, which can banish cards from his extra deck. We have Fenrir, which can banish cards from the board. And we have Warrior, who can bounce cards back to his hand.
But there's more. Did you catch that face-down trap card?
What was it?
Skill Drain.
Oh, my goodness.
And you contribute the Regenesis Warrior, still get the monster returned to the hand because the monster won't be face up on the field when its effect is resolving. So Skill Drain, perfect combination here. Get some of those Kashtira effects out of the way, surprise your opponent with the Skill Drain, and still have big, beefy 2,500 boys, as you said.
Yeah, and Sean's in a really interesting position because the second he activates a monster effect, Unicorn will get rid of his last Leo Dancer, potentially, and Fenrir will banish whatever monster he played. But there we see the activation of Gold Leo being totally fine. Everything for the Kashtiras happens on res. So we're going to go ahead and add a LUNALIGHT monster from our deck to our hand and then discard a card. All part of the effect too, so any effects like Yellow Martin or whatever would trigger, which is pretty exciting to see.
So managing to get in there somehow, but still activating a monster effect, so this might be difficult. We also still have the Skill Drain. It looks like we're going to let this resolve because we want to get those Kashtira effects, and I then think we'll see Skill Drain, but imagine that, getting to banish a card off the field, banish a card from the extra deck, that's pretty good.
So here we see on a resolution, we have the activated Unicorn. We're going to be chaining Silverhound's effect from the hand, chaining to Unicorn there. That'll be allowing it to banish this card at one. Oh, no, sorry, no. We're discarding Silverhound at resolution of Gold Leo's effect, and then Unicorn was proccing. I was like, well, how'd that get sent to the graveyard, actually? Okay.
Sometimes the players get ahead of themselves. They don't wait for their opponent to fully resolve their effect because they're so excited, but you got to slow down here, especially if you're going to punch that ticket to Paris. It looks like we are going through the extra deck here, and it looks like we will take out another LUNALIGHT fusion name.
And if I saw Sean's extra deck correctly, like Conrado did, I believe that's the only other copy of Leo Dancer, which means I have no idea how he summons Liger Dancer without King of the Swamp in his deck somewhere.
Fusion substitutes are fun for a reason, and this may be a lesson to some duelists. You need to side deck them. But the LUNALIGHT deck was strong before any of those cards, so let's see if Sean can pull it out here.
We can always just summon Saber Dancer, which has a very similar, like, unaffected effect that Liger Dancer has, but it doesn't attack nearly as much, and I don't believe it has any ways to clear monsters.
And that could be very difficult considering we're still staring down Kashtira, Fenrir, and Regenesis Warrior.
So here we have KaleidoCheck coming down because of the Silverhound's effect after being discarded. Because the Silverhound's effect was what was used to summon this thing, we're now going to use Fenrir on resolution of that to now banish that card face down. And because KaleidoCheck is an ignition, we won't be able to activate its effect to dump anything and get that fusion substitute anyway. And like I said, 1-for-1 interactions are really good against LUNALIGHT, and Kashtira is the king of those.
And it's funny, too, because REGENESIS has all those 1-for-1 interactions, too, but I feel that many decks have given up their 1-for-1 interactions, right? Yesterday, we talked about how people are losing copies of Ash Blossom, sometimes infinite impermanence because they want those big global effects. So it's nice to see that you can kind of slip on by, maybe exploit other decks' weaknesses because you're playing your own style.
Yeah, but Sean, I think, is still powering through plenty. We have Tenki coming down, going to be adding Black Sheep to the hand. We do know we have the Wolf in hand, which can get us a fusion summon. You know, we can still make plenty of plays here. We're going to be using the effect of the Sheep in our hand to add either a LUNALIGHT monster or LUNALIGHT or a polymerization. I'm not sure what he declared he was adding. I think you need to declare which one you're going to get before you search, but my assumption would be it's a poly if he needs a way to fusion summon, and there is the beautiful red and blue polymerization.
Nice to see all the different arts this weekend. I think everybody has activated at least one different art of polymerization, and looks like we're going to add those cards back. I love holding on to the skill drain there. Conrado, you know, hasn't revealed the sort of surprise, and maybe there's a version of this where he gets out of this duel without even having to reveal that he is main decking or side decking skill drain.
I mean, there's a world here where, you know, he's waiting all the way until Sean commits a fusion summon, because fusion summoning famously is a big commitment of resources, and when you punish that commitment of resources by just canceling what it was all trying to do in the first place, that can be really scary for players to deal with.
Looks like we're going to be dropping one more card here. Sean, considering his options, needs to make some kind of move to get through this sort of glut there, but we're going to polymerization. It's fusion summon time.
And it looks like imagine he, you know, goes for a really powerful fusion monster, and he just goes flip skill drain, activate warrior on a separate chain later, bounce it back to your extra deck. What are you gonna do now? There is the Perfume Dancer coming down. We're going to be chaining Kashtira Birth at resolution of the spell card to banish 3 monsters from his graveyard. Targeting Wolf, Sheep, and Hound, I think.
And then I think it's a skill drain time.
Chainlink 4, pay 1,000 life points and activate Skill Drain. This will, once resolved, stop the Perfume Dancer from being played. We'll still have access to the Warrior, like you said, because it tributes for cost to activate its effect to bounce. And then, I'm not sure what Sean will have left. His entire graveyard will be gone on top of that as well.
Now we're going to lose those cards. LUNALIGHT loves having a full graveyard of great materials and card effects that activate in the grave, but that seems to be the first damage in this game. Again, 7,000 to 8,000 now. Clock ticking on at 20 minutes to go. I think Conrado may be able to clear this out, so we'll have a little bit for game 3, but still, Sean's in the driver's seat as he thumbs that LUNALIGHT Masquerade, thinking about what to do next.
Yeah, LUNALIGHT Masquerade can probably send something like Yellow Martin, which can get you LUNALIGHT Fusion, but again, with that skill drain and with that Regenesis Warrior, I'm not sure what you're going to be able to do, and Sean, he's going to be scooping up his cards here. He wants as much time as possible to get into that game 3. And we saw Conrado, once he was actually able to use some of his Regenesis cards and the rest of his Kashtira engine, it was smooth sailing.
That was just one Regenesis Warrior was enough to threaten that, and each of the Regenesis monsters alone are very threatening. Didn't see the full pop off, if you will.
Both these players are eyeing for that top 4 spot. Game 3 begins now.
Good luck.
It's time to duel. Some great sportsmanship, wishing each other good luck. Now we enter the draw phase, and Sean goes through the draw and standby phase. I see a lot of green and pink. I don't see any orange cards. Maybe no monster cards at all, but we can fix that by activating Foolish Burial.
Foolish Burial, that's definitely pretty much anything he wants to be really going on there. That is the king of sending cards to the graveyard by effect.
Activate.
Yep, Silverhound, that's going to be equaling a monster. We're going to Ash the Silverhound. Like you said, that might be the only monster he had access to. Let's see if he has any more.
Very clever, too, to save the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring for the first activated monster effect. We are going to see the Fire Formation Tenki, though.
And now we can get Gold Leo normal summon, get everything else we wanted. That's going to be pretty huge, but we are denying a body on board. That's worth noting. Silverhound is probably one of the cool ways that this deck, without using LUNALIGHT Tiger, can do rank 4 plays or even access other parts of the engine. So now we're going to see what Gold Leo can do all by itself without access to Silverhound.
And I don't see any points of interaction from Conrado. I see a lot of gas, done a lot of breaks as multiple Regenesis monsters and a copy of Regenesis itself. So he may be staring this field down, as you're going to have to determine how can I play through it. But if the combo goes unfettered and we see multiple Liger Dancers, how can he play through it?
Right. It can be very difficult to affect monsters that are unaffected. You know, they just are staring at you, and you have to stare back. That's all you can do.
They're in their lane. They got everything going their way.
So we're adding Black Sheep, and then we're going to be discarding a copy of Dominus Impulse. That's actually a really cool card.
Activate. Add poly.
And then we're going to be adding Polymerization using this Black Sheep's effect. That's going to be pretty huge here. But again, I don't remember seeing any monsters in his hand. Maybe he has Twilight Masquerade, which will let him Fusion Summon using the graveyard. Oh, Black Sheep will be added back to the hand thanks to the Gold Leo's effect, of course. That's why he was able to get the extra monster.
So slowly but surely
Activate
accumulating monster cards, activating Polymerization now.
So then we got Black Sheep as one of the materials, and Gold Leo. This, I believe, will summon Perfume Dancer, and then we'll get access to the most powerful card in LUNALIGHT, and that is LUNALIGHT Perfume.
Chainlink 1, Black Sheep, Chainlink 2.
Yep, Chainlink 2 Black Sheep because it was used as fusion material. You could add one LUNALIGHT Pendulum monster from your extra deck or one LUNALIGHT monster from your graveyard to your hand. We're going to be adding, that was Gold Leo, yeah? Yeah.
Believe so. Since I still see the Black Sheep on the graveyard there. But now we're going back in the deck, speaking of LUNALIGHT cards. And I see him looking at the LUNALIGHT Perfume.
Oh yeah, that card is going to be pretty useful here. Maybe even going to be summoning back that Silverhound could be pretty interesting.
Oh, we activate it.
Black Sheep.
We're targeting Black Sheep to summon itself to the field.
Resolves.
And now we could, if we wanted to, use the LUNALIGHT Perfume's effect in the graveyard to basically discard a card and search for another LUNALIGHT monster. I think what he's going to try to hope for here is some kind of Kaleido Chick out, or Leo Dancer out, or Wolf could be cool here. Lots of fun options. Honestly, what we could probably see is Yellow Martin too, because that's another free body potentially.
Search Kaleido Chick.
But it's gonna be Kaleido Chick. That's like the thing he needs to get access to the first Liger Dancer, no problem, by sort of copying his Leo Dancer in the extra deck.
It would be the first Liger Dancer to actually appear on the field. We are in Game 3, and we actually haven't seen the thing that makes this deck so reliable and able to get you this far in the tournament. So let's go ahead and put the Black Sheep back in the hand, bring out the Kaleido Chick, and I think we're going to activate its effect next.
Oh, yes. And by the effect, you mean the real part of the effect, which is the cost, right?
Yes, the cost.
Send a card to the graveyard. Interesting, he's going for the main deck here, not the extra deck. He's feeling a bit more confident here. Maybe Conrado's all out of interaction. That is something that a lot of top players will do as they do certain plays. They're going, oh, I now know you don't have this or this in your hand, because if you did, you would have used it earlier in the turn, meaning I can play a bit more aggressively.
Yep.
So there we see the Tiger going to the graveyard for Kaleido Chick's effect, and now we're going to activate the effect of Black Sheep to add Tiger back to the hand. That is a really heads-up play right there, because now he has access to a non-once per turn, sorry, I should say a soft once per turn monster reborn with that pendulum effect of LUNALIGHT Tiger.
Civilly once per turn, but every time you want to. Just, this is a once per turn, but no, this is a different card. I trust me.
Be like, I swear to you, this Tiger is different than the other one. They're just twins. They get this all the time. Everyone says they look alike. It happens.
But jokes aside, Sean definitely getting a very serious field here as he continues to play. And it's nice to see on the LUNALIGHT side, right? How did Duelist get this far with this deck? You might be wondering, like, it hasn't done anything. Well, it's about to.
Ooh, we're going to see some really fun stuff here. But going for this Cross Sheep, this will basically allow Sean to get extra bodies, extra material. Here is the LUNALIGHT Tiger. First time we're going to be resolving the effect to summon. This is going to bring back the Kaleido Chick. We're actually going to bring back the Perfume Dancer.
Yep.
Oh, don't tell me Perfume Dancer is also a soft once per turn to summon by bouncing, right?
It is the LUNALIGHT special.
Activate Kaleido Chick.
Yep, pause.
Send.
No, each effect is once per turn. Okay, great. And it's named as Perfume. But it is a fusion monster, which can be very useful.
Tiger.
Speaking of useful, looks like we got our Yellow Martin back on the field finally.
Yeah, we summoned it back because we used Cross Sheep to bring back Kaleido Chick and just get the extra body that way. And then Yellow Martin bounces back to Tiger, and now we can use Tiger again if we so wish. And we can use Kaleido Chick again to copy Leo Dancer if we wish. But instead, it looks like we're going to be going for a rank 4 play. Maybe he's not choosing to Liger Dancer, or already has access to it.
Well, with his tournament life on the line, I know we're still in Swiss. It could be a Baguska here.
No.
Oh, interesting.
Oh my gosh, is that Outer Entity Azathoth?
It is Outer Entity Azathoth.
Touch.
We're going to go ahead and...
Sorry, no, that's Nyarla.
Oh, Nyarla. Okay.
Azathoth's the rank 5 one.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Sorry, it was upside down.
I was like, there's always a card that's associated with this one that I know is a little primordial, a little evil for people at home.
Certainly an interesting play there. A great way to detach. Now we're going back into the deck.
Yeah, we're using the effect of, I think, Yellow Martin here to add a LUNALIGHT spell card. This should get us Twilight Masquerade, because we were able to add back Poly. Now we can use the Masquerade as a way to fusion summon from the graveyard without the need for LUNALIGHT Wolf. Plus, we can even send more cards to the graveyard that we need. Can Masquerade send from the extra deck? Let me just double check here. from your deck to the graveyard. So no, you cannot send from the extra deck with Masquerade.
It's good, but it's not that good.
That would be wild if you could just like send Leo Dancer to the graveyard and then fusion with it. That'd be so crazy.
Technically Masquerade.
Enough talking about Masquerade. It's time to activate it.
Just assessing here what other names we might want to see in the graveyard. I could see something like Yellow Bird being pretty, so Emerald Bird being pretty cool here.
Yep.
Maybe depends on if he has more copies of, or sorry, I should say access to things like LUNALIGHT Wolf could be interesting for him. But yeah, it is going to be Emerald Bird who has the effect when it's into the graveyard to, I believe, summon a level 4 lower that is banished or in your graveyard. That'll bring back the Collider trick that he discarded with the Outer Entity. And now this one can definitely go for the Leo Dancer, Liger Dancer line, which I believe we're going to be doing here. Activating Collider Trick 3 times in a single turn, no big deal, no big deal. Pay no attention to the tiny bird lady.
Just another day in Sean's dueling career, and it seems like he is putting up a very impressive field. If you were skeptic of LUNALIGHTs, having seen the first 2 duels, I hope you understand now why this deck is so strong.
Yeah, being able to like essentially fusion summon by skipping steps is really interesting and fun to see. Here we see the SP Little Knight coming down, just banishing all cards from the graveyard because why not deny Conrado of all resources possible? No reason not to do so.
Probably not going to be too much out of that Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but now that it's banished, I think about Regenesis and Cashier. They don't do a lot with low-level monsters in the graveyard, but hey, you never know.
So we see the Tiger's Pendulum effect being activated again to summon back a Gold Leo. This will give us another rank 4 if we want it, but we probably don't want to give up our quote-unquote Leo Dancer that's in play right now, as Kaleido Chick is cosplaying right now.
Little name tag on there. It's like, hi, my name is Leo Dancer.
Is it? Are you sure? Okay.
Read the name tag.
I'll believe you.
Okay.
Polymerization? I'll believe you. I'm playing the part of polymerization in that story. Yeah.
Just scans her credentials at the polymerization gate like, yeah, okay, you're close enough. Get up.
Sean's just thinking, how much more value can I extract here? Because I do think he's thinking to himself, once I summon my first Liger Dancer, it's probably just a hop, skip, and a jump to summon the second one. I'm just trying to make sure I'm doing everything else beforehand as possible. Because I think that the line of questioning is going to be is we go Poly here, and then we fusion with what's on field. Yep, we're going to use those 2, Leo Dancer plus another LUNALIGHT, to go into the first Liger Dancer. And if he has a way to fusion something using the graveyard, which Masquerade would let him do.
Yep.
Oh! Interesting.
I see. We're using the Perfume Dancer to bring back the Poly. Now we're going to discard thanks to the Perfume Dancer's full effect. But now we're going to Poly using Masquerade to let us use our graveyard. That'll dump the Leo Dancer. I really like this. Gives him access to another body and probably wasn't the big power we may be expecting. But we're still going to have Liger Dancer plus a whole board of monsters that can trigger during Conrado's turn. Seems like more than enough.
Yeah, looks like those are our materials, so it is time to finally fusion summon this massive monster.
Boom, there it is. 3,800 attack. You can attack twice, and once per turn quick effect, you can banish a LUNALIGHT monster to destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. That is one heck of a card.
I mean, if you had never seen it before and you were sitting across from the table, just looking at the art and the stars across it alone, you know that is going to be a good card.
You know that card's built different.
Is that my main?
All right, let's see what Conrado do. I'm not sure what outs he has available to him. I have either his main deck or side deck for outing a Liger Dancer, but let's see.
So Liger Dancer's attack, you said, was 3,800, right?
Yes, currently 39, but yeah.
39. So technically, if he's running Regenesis Lord, and not everybody runs Regenesis Lord, it gains 2,500 attack during the battle phase. 5,000.
There is big monsters in this deck. But unfortunately, is there a way for him to go into Lord while it being destroyed because of Liger Dancer? Sure. Because Sage will not be able to negate Liger Dancer's effect.
Oh, that's right, because it's unaffected, so it is difficult. Maybe just pressing to get the Liger Dancer to use its effect sooner, that might be the option. And then, surprise, here comes Regenesis Lord. Okay. But it's not always making it to every deck list, so we'll have to see how this pans out. I am seeing a number of Regenesis cards there, but we're going to grab Cashier Birth with the effects of Cashier Unicorn.
We could see a rank 7 play here, because I believe Sage is a level 7, correct?
It is.
Ooh, but there's the Regenesis you were talking about. This will let him get access to Archfiend if he doesn't already have it.
Adds your specials.
It'll just add.
It adds from the deck to the hand, or sends to the graveyard a Regenesis monster, or if you control one already, you can grab a 2,500 attack or 2,500 defense monster instead.
So here, our target is going to be Regenesis Archfiend. That'll be good because that'll let him access the rest of his Regenesis engine if he has access to another 2,500 attack point monster in his hand.
Let me read that guy.
Perhaps this is how we get to Regenesis Lord?
If we have it.
Sure.
If we have it, if we have it. It's difficult because sometimes you do draw Regenesis Lord at the wrong time and you're like, man, and then all of a sudden the Lord shines his rays on you and Regenesis Lord is exactly what you need to get out of the duel, so we'll see what happens here.
I see Conrado eyeing up things like Big Eye, things like Draco Slayer, Draco Sack, but unfortunately, none of those are really going to answer a Liger Dancer. Imagine if you could just Big Eye take it. That'd be a fun way to win the game.
That's an interesting way to do it. Okay, so we're going to Xyz summon. Ooh, interesting.
Dark Arm Dragon, the Dragon of Annihilation, right?
Pops a card.
That is one way to do it. There's a lot of rank 7 toolbox access in the Regenesis deck, and also rank 8 because there are a lot of rank 8s as well. The Dragon of Annihilation is here.
Looks like we want to force out the SP Little Knight.
What are you detaching? Yeah, it's cost, right? Or
So detaching Kashtira Unicorn, smart because we have the Regenesis, or excuse me, Kashtira Birth.
Chain.
There is a Regenesis Birth, but that's not on the field yet.
Yep. So we're going to chain the SP to make sure that it stays protected and to banish the Dark Armed.
Is it still banished or it didn't pop or no?
I believe because Dark Arm's going to be Chain Link 1.
Destroy it.
Yeah. And because the monster is dodge Chain Link 2, there's no destruction happening in Chain Link 1.
Oh, Thunder?
But we do have a special
Thunder effect?
Fenrir. We're going to be using the effect there to search for another copy of Unicorn. With the birth that we already added to hand, we can then normal summon that, which is pretty good.
Slowly but surely pushing as much as he can, and then we'll see. Because I don't think he's activated the Regenesis Archfiend yet, so I'm very curious to see what he searches.
Well, now he has the guaranteed 2,500 attack point monster, which is going to be very useful for him. But the thing that's a little unfortunate here is I think Conrado's heading down a path that'll let him deal with everything Sean Killian has, except for Liger Dancer. Liger Dancer will still be there at the end of the day, I think, and that's going to be the thing that's really he has to worry about.
What happened?
The Silverhand, do you have Silverhand in your graveyard?
Yeah, it negates activations.
Oh, use Birth Effect to special?
Yeah.
Yep, so it's using the Birth Effect special of the Unicorn from the graveyard. Silverhound is available in the graveyard to negate the activation of a card when a spell or trap is activated by banishing itself, and one Lunalight fusion monster in your graveyard.
Interesting deciding not to stop the Kashtira Birth, maybe thinking there's a power spell somewhere secretly hidden in the hand.
Very heads up. I'm surprised he didn't go for the Regenesis card, too. Maybe he's just like more afraid of big blowout cards like Thrust or Talent or whatever.
I think with Liger Dancer, that is the privilege you enjoy, that you're like, I will negate something when you actually scare me.
Oh boy, so here we go, Big Eye with our 2 Kashtira monsters. Sean's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Detach and take.
We're going to detach, and we're going to take Perfumed Dancer, it looks like.
Anything here?
No.
Apparently not doing anything there with the graveyard. Sean loaded up there, but not activating any effects. Looks like now we're going to Link Summon, getting rid of the Perfume Dancer and the number 11 Big Eye to combine for...
This feels like an SP Gambit here, maybe getting rid of the Tiger. Like I said, it feels like Conrado's going to be able to break apart all of Sean's board, sans the Liger Dancer, which is the big threat, as it were.
Reveal?
Yep, so here we have the Archfiend revealing the Unicorn that we know about to summon and search. Again, this is everything you want to be doing.
All right, let's see if the Regenesis Lord is there or not.
That's
just the Regenesis Dragon. And Lord is a difficult pick in the deck for sure, but it might have been the way to get out of this jam. But I think Conrado has another way out.
Just Unicorn.
He would have had a way to protect it too, thanks to his SP Null being in play. He can just banish the Lord if he tries to use Liger Dancer's effect. But again, that's potentially not in his deck. So we have Dragon coming down instead. We're going to be sending the Saber Dancer for cost here to, I believe, activate the effect of Liger Dancer to destroy all special summon monsters. I believe the effect we are using.
Yep.
Oh, chaining SP Lilith to protect the Regenesis Dragon and SP Lilith itself. Losing Regenesis Archfiend, which is okay.
Not for long. You know, he'll be back.
Ooh, putting that in defense mode. I think that means we are burning up Sean's resources, but do not intend to try to win this turn.
I mean, we have done a lot, and we have broken through a lot of what Sean had available to him, but it just so far has not been enough to really do much else.
So as a reminder for duelists at home, when you see the clock strike 0, don't panic. There'll be 3 minutes added. There was a slow play penalty issued to Sean earlier in the tournament there. And that's fine. It's just a warning, but it does mean that the clock's a little bit further than you know.
And now this board got a whole lot bigger here. We have 4 monsters coming back due to SP effects. We have a Liger Dancer, and of course we still have that outer entity in play. It is Sean's turn. And Sean's having the question now of how do I go for lethal amounts of damage? It'll be interesting to see that math sort of shake out.
Activate.
Here with the effective Liger Dancer being procced here to try to destroy all monsters, and we're not even going to attempt to stop it. And
Oh,
Conrado
that's
scoops
it.
it up. There it is. Liger Dancer was enough.